Hey guys, it's Levi. I'm back with a look at Transformers Kingdom Core Class Megatron. I was able to find this guy and Starscream. This guy and Starscream at retail. Picked them both up. Thought we'd take a look at them. I'm actually really pleased with both of them. They're super cool. And they've got really interesting transformations for little guys. So I figured we'd go over it. So this is obviously his tank mode, and I'm awfully forgiving with these smaller figures. So you get around the back and some of it kind of falls apart. You can probably guess those are legs, and you can see hands at the back of the turret. But for the most part, it's pretty impressive when you see what he can turn into and how his transformation works. I really like this version of Megatron. You can see his cannon here is like his G1 handgun form, just kind of plugged in there. Um, Now, I mean, that's his only option for a cannon, really. He has a fusion cannon inside, and I guess you could always turn the turret around and flip it out. It won't look as good. So your best bet is to leave that plugged in. But you do have options, so that's never a bad thing. Let's check out some size comparisons real quick. Like I said, I got Starscream. Um, I don't believe that between a tank and a jet, this is an accurate size comparison, but I care more about the robot modes, and most of you guys do too. So that's what those look like together. And then here he is with Core Class Optimus Prime. And yeah, obviously, vehicle modes, whatever, but the robot modes look really nice together on all these things. So, speaking of robot mode, okay, so we're going to get into transformation here. This one's still neat. It's not as cool as Starscream's, but it's pretty cool. So you do, I guess you don't have to, but I am going to remove his little gun. We can take a closer look at that real quick. So, very hollowed out, but it's just a little interpretation of his G1 weapon. Peg-wise, it has that smaller peg for, the core class figures. I don't know if this is a 5 millimeter peg. Here, let me check. Let me see something here. I grabbed Cliff Jumper here off the shelf. So let me take him. He should have a 5 millimeter peg for hand. And yeah, that is 5 millimeters. So you can also have Megatron. You can use that for any of your, Earthrise Siege figures, or, any of your other figures. And you can have that as like a G1 form of Megatron. If you weren't able to get the Generation Selects accessory pack, like I wasn't, there you have an option if you want to make your Voyager, your Voyager Megatrons. If you want to make them have a G1 alternate mode, that is an option, and that's neat. Okay, so looking at this thing, best place to start for me is undoing the legs. So halfway through the treads, just unhook them. And then you can kind of, back here, that hinge plugs in. You can unplug that hinge and then swing it all the way out, and it will peg back in to be his knee. You heard a good click there, good substantial click. Make some clean legs. Okay. And then this piece. So first thing I want to do is take this panel. I don't know how I can illustrate this best. So this panel, which is actually his hand on his wrist, will rotate all the way. Well, I guess we just want to go here. You're going to have to rotate it some more, but at this point you can only do it to there. These will unpeg. The back of the turret will unpeg from these two pegs into the forearms. And then you can separate the arms. You can see where this arm pegs into the fusion cannon. So you're going to want to open those up as best you can. the turret likes to spin on me, you don't turn it for the transformation. It's just for, allowing it to turn in vehicle mode. So next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to need to work around getting this thing up over his shoulders. I didn't show that off well. So just kind of like a Siege Megatron, the whole front of the tank is on this panel, and it's going to go up and over and onto the back of the figure. So you just want to kind of work it up over the shoulders so you can allow them to peg into the sides of his chest. But you want to do it correctly and not how I'm doing it. There. It's because his turret was spun around. It wasn't connecting on both sides. Set that on his back. That'll lock his head into place. And then, so you can turn him at the elbow here. And you can turn that panel I was talking about. You can finish rotating it there. Flip his fusion cannon down and then turn him at the waist. Some of those steps you can do in different orders, but that is how I did it. And then we have Core Class Megatron. I think this guy looks super neat. A very good representation of the Megatrons we've been getting in the War for Cybertron trilogy, while also kind of adding their own twist to him. Sorry, getting stuff situated here. Lots of backpack, the most kibble out of any of these core classes. But I would say that's also true for the Voyager Megatrons, having the most kibble out of these newer interpretations. So if anything, I guess it's somewhat appropriate. He can hold himself. So he can have that. Obviously, like I just said, you can give it to anybody with any of these core class figures or anyone with a 5mm port. I really like him. The chest and the waist, they're painted in this really nice silver. He does have the red. So he's really well detailed. Articulation-wise, head's on a swivel. He has ball-jointed shoulders that are somewhat hindered by these, great big shoulder pads, but still get decent motion. Ball-jointed elbows, fusion cannon on that arm, which can swivel if that's something you want. No fusion cannon on that arm. He does have a waist swivel, just as you saw for transformation. Ball-jointed hips, ball-jointed knees, nothing on the feet. So there is the Mad Tyrant himself, comparing him to his conniving second-in-command Starscream. That's what they look like together. Like I said, these core class figures have really impressed me. They look really neat. Let's see, you can give Starscream. Give Starscream the little Megatron here. You can replicate that from the 84 film. And then here he is with Optimus Prime. And they look good together. Say Megatron's the tallest so far. I like that. I was about to say really what I'm excited for, because these are neat. They're cool little guys. I like them on their own. I'm really gonna like to put them all around the arc when we end up getting that. So that's really all I have to say. I don't know how many more core classes they're planning on doing of the G1 characters. I'd take as many as they do. We've gotten updated versions of a lot of these guys through the Siege and Earthrise lines. So whatever they feel like giving us, I'm in. They've done a fantastic job with these first few. So that was my look at Core Class Megatron from Transformers Kingdom. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you guys next time. We got lots more cool stuff coming to robotsandrants.com. See ya.